It all comes down to this, the final round of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama, and two Apex Racing Team drivers are at the top of the standings and the favorites to win. I'm your host, Joshua Lee, joined by Dane Baird with Alex Simpson and Mark Tranter working the production. And Dane, so many weeks of action broadcasted right here on Apex Racing TV. We've been focusing on John Robertson and Johan Harth all year long. They're the top two in the point standings coming into tonight, and this is going to be an intense battle as Hallman and De Jong are so close to being mathematically eliminated.
Absolutely, our two drivers and for Team Yokohama, 1 and 2, of course, they have been for most of the season. John Robertson's been leading since round 3, I believe. He's been really dominant so far at the top of the championship standings. With only one round to go, we're back at Sonoma, of course. We were there for, I think it was round 6 of the championship. We last visited the circuit, but yeah, it should be a good one. We had a good showing last time out at Sonoma with our Apex Racing Team driver Jake Robertson, who's currently in 10th in the standings. He had a pretty good outing there as well last time we visited Sonoma, so it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
And John and Johan got a 1-2 finish. Johan grabbing the win there with Robertson in 2nd, and then Jake Robertson coming home in 4th. So a great outing for Apex Racing Team at Sonoma, like you said, Dane. And coming into this race, obviously every driver wanted to get to this point. And we have 4 drivers in there right now. Mitchell De Jong and Tommy Hallman just 3 points away from being mathematically eliminated from the championship. What do those Team Yokohama drivers need to do to make sure that the SET Esports and the Subaru drivers behind them don't get those points that they need?
Just qualify well. If they qualify well, they can eliminate the chances of Mitchell De Jong and Tommy Hallman of winning the championship straight off the bat before we even get racing. So they just really need to qualify well, do well in the heats, basically do what they've been doing all season long, and that should be enough. And then it will just be a fight between John and Johan to see who takes home that crown. But yeah, they still have a little bit of work to do. It's not secured just yet.
We have those team standings now up on your screen. Team Yokohama leading the way with 316. SET Esports in 2nd with 262. Subaru Motorsports USA with 211. And then it's a huge gap back to CR22 and Dreyer and Reinbold with 120 and 118 respectively in 4th and 5th. So great showing from those top 3 teams, and that is what it's going to come down to here in the championship as the final practice laps are being taken. 2 minutes left in practice as we continue to preview all of the action coming up today. And there you see them, Johan Harth, John Robertson, focused and ready to go. This is going to be one of the best showings for either of these drivers, and the first time either of them have been put in this position in any world championship here on iRacing, and the first time that Apex Racing Team might be walking away with the championship at the end of the day.
Absolutely, Apex Racing Team founded in 2012, and they've been trying to get into world championships ever since, and they've done so successfully for many years. And this could be the first time that one of those Apex Racing Team drivers walks away with the championship win. It could also be the first time that Apex Racing Team take away a team's win in an overall iRacing World Championship as well. So big day for Apex Racing Team out here at Sonoma, and you can see the drivers on the right hand side of the screen, and it's going to be interesting for them as well because they've been working together throughout the entirety of the season so far, working together, but for the first time this season, of course, you're always racing your teammate, but they're going to be racing each other a bit harder than normal.
And the first battle of the day is going to come down here in qualifying. Now, the way points work here on the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series, you do get points in qualifying, but it is only for the top 6 positions. First place grabs 6 points, second place grabs 5 points, and so on, all the way down to 6th, grabbing 1 point. So it is possible that Mitchell De Jong and Tommy Hallman will be mathematically eliminated after this qualifying session, but we're going to have to wait and see as the drivers take their final practice laps, time winding down here in practice. But qualifying, the first major battle, and we've seen good qualifying efforts this year, Dane, from both John and Johan, but they're going to need to put together 2 blazing fast laps here at Sonoma.
Absolutely, very common theme of seeing that one of those two drivers on overall pole position. Even more common theme of seeing both of those drivers on pole position in each or in one of the 4 heats that we've got coming up after qualifying, which are going to be equally as important. If John Robertson scores 3 points more than Mitchell de Jong or Tommy Holman in qualifying, then those two are out of the championship contention straight away. So qualifying is going to be the first battleground here today, and it's going to be really interesting to see. I saw Johan doing quite a few practice starts. We've seen the starts being lightning fast all season long. Hopefully for him, they can continue to be in the final race.
First lap for Johan Harth. Here he goes, diving into turn number 1 and 2. You can see sweeping dirt section, getting up out of the group, cutting right on back in. We'll see how fast this lap is going to be, using that grass on the right side to his advantage, trying to just get as much grip out of those tires as he can, drifting through the dirt section for the first time, right back onto the asphalt. Smooth corner from Johan. We'll see where this lap is going to put him to start. You can see it on the right side of your screen. So focused is Johan as he goes into the final corner, up and over the jump. Where is this lap going to put Johan to start? It is going to be, as he crosses the line, 39.57. He sits on top ahead of Olekainen, ahead of DeLalmo, Pyler, and Bergeron. The top drivers to put in points. Mitchell de Jong, a 39.82. He is currently down in 4th.
Absolutely, but without Robertson setting a decent time, there he goes, up into 3rd, but he's down now in 4th. Holman is up into 2nd, so your championship 4, essentially. Johan Harth in 1st and Holman 2nd, and de Jong down in 6th with, Robertson, John Robertson, that is, in 4th.
Well, Jake Robertson up in 4th in the 21. John still waiting to put in his first time of the day. Jake Robertson going to abandon that lap. Now here's John Robertson. First flyer lap. We'll see where this is going to put him on the board. De Jong in 6th still. John's teammate Johan Harth currently on pole with Hallman in 2nd. Hallman, another one of those championship contenders. He's going to need a miracle from these Yokohama drivers, though. Here he goes. John Robertson up and over the jump. Where is this going to put him? Will he go over his teammate? He's going to go into 6th, a 39.749 as he goes back into turn number 1. Needs a bit of a faster lap than that. But Killian DeLalmo is going to overtake de Jong. De Jong is now outside of qualifying points. If he finishes there, he is automatically, mathematically eliminated out of the championship.
Yeah, that is not good for de Jong. He obviously had a mare of a time here last time at Sonoma. I think he got taken out at the start of both of his heat and his
second lap is 7th. It's not going to be good enough.
It's not. He is, he's out of the points for qualifying. That's a disaster for Mitchell de Jong, but it's good news for Johan Harth and John Robertson. There we go. That's what we like to see. Johan Harth and John Robertson once again 1-2. Johan Harth proving once again. Look at that.
John as well. He knows that was such a good lap, and Johan Harth going for another one as well. So it looks like Team Yokohama 1-2 currently here in qualifying as Mitchell de Jong. I believe his laps are finished. I believe he's going to finish down there in 7th. Oh my, just not a good showing for Mitchell de Jong, and he needed it right here. Johan Harth going to come across the line for another qualifying lap, see if he can improve. Down over the jump, will it improve on his 39.57? 39.602, not an improvement, but still going to keep that pole position.
Yeah, we know that Johan Harth is very quick here at Sonoma. He won one of the Sonoma rounds last time out. Well, he won the Sonoma round last time out in this year, and also back in 2019 as well. He won one of the Sonoma races from that season, so we know he's quick here. He also came in and showed the rookies how it's done in the last round of pro qualifiers. But yeah, we know he's quick here at Sonoma, and yeah, he's proving that once again. Interestingly, Zelensky, de Jong's teammate, has just gone ahead of him. De Jong down to 8th.
And yeah, if de Jong does stay there, and he is now off the track and out of time to make another qualifying lap, de Jong is now officially out of the race for the points championship. He came in at 137. John Robertson came in at 163. Now, after that round of qualifying, John Robertson up to 168. De Jong stays at 137. And that gap between him and John Robertson, even if John Robertson does not compete in anything and gets 0 points for the rest of the day, it still is not enough for Mitchell de Jong to come home and grab the championship. But Tommy Hallman is still in the running for the championship. We'll see how he does as we go through the heats. As we are ready now for heat number 1, Johan Harth starts on the pole. Rasmus Tuominen in second. Killian Delolmo third. Adria Perez fourth. Jonathan Pyler in fifth. Vicente Salas in sixth. And Alex Bergeron, World of Outlaws champion here on iRacing.com, will start in seventh. But Johan Harth, what a blistering fast qualifying time, and he's going to lead the field into turn 1 here, Dane.
Yeah, we've seen this many times from him down to the bowling alley. The inside definitely the preferred line, although he made the outside work in the feature for round 6 of this year's World Championship, around the outside of Jake Robertson it was in that feature race. But yeah, he's got the preferred line into turn 1, really narrows out that first opening sequence. I say turn 1, it's not really turn 1, it's the penultimate corner, but it's the first corner for the race starts. They only cross the line about 10-15 seconds after they start the race, which is, yeah, once again, one of the more unique things about Rallycross. But they can't take the Joker on the first lap. They will get a fairly hefty penalty. I think it's 26 seconds added onto their race time if they take to that Joker on the first lap, because they haven't crossed the start finish yet. So we're going to have to wait until their second time round past the Joker lap for them to be able to take it. So no Joker straight off the start today.
And I just did the math on my notes here, Dane, and it looks like with the minimum amount of points that these drivers can get off of these heats, it is 2 the way the heats are set up this week. Compared to the maximum amount of points that Hallman can get now, it's not going to be enough. So Apex Racing Team and Team Yokohama, I believe, doing my shoddy math through the heats and feature that what we have left, Apex Racing Team and Team Yokohama have just locked up this championship. So now it's just going to be, will it be Johan or John, depending on what happens here in these heats in the feature race. Either one of them can now win the championship, but I believe mathematically Hallman is eliminated.
Well, that's big. And also big is that Harth has gained a point over his championship rival then. So I believe that gap is now down to 9 points. 7 points. I see. Well, that's, yeah, much smaller gap.
It is 9. 9 points.
Oh, I was right. Why are you trying to correct me when I'm right?
Again, my shoddy math. I said, again, Hallman being mathematically out could also be wrong. We do not have official mathematicians here, as we're just waiting for these drivers to grid up. 25 seconds left to grid. They set the gridding time to 3 minutes, I believe, revealing some stuff on the official iRacing broadcast. So a little bit of an extra grid time here, but here come the drivers. So we get ready to go for the first heat of the day. Johan Harth on pole. Starting alongside him will be Rasmus Tuominen and Killian Delolmo. You can see Johan Harth all the way on that inside. He has the best line going into the first corner here at Sonoma. The final group of heats for the season here in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. It's time to go racing. Heat 1 is underway from Sonoma. Good start from Johan Harth on the inside. He's going to clear Tuominen. Tuominen going to give a huge shove. He's going to try and get to the inside. He is going to have the inside heading into turn 2. But Johan Harth is trying to hold strong on the outside. Here comes Killian Delolmo in that yellow set. Esports Subaru trying to make a pass as well. But Harth is going to cover off Rasmus Tuominen for the lead.
Oh, a bit of a touch. Oh, almost turns him around. Harth lucky to get away with that one. We've seen that go the other way very many times, but Harth leads now ahead of Tuominen. He had a great defense out of that jump. He got just a little bit of a better run, then swooping in front of the Finn in that number 22 machine. He was having none of that at all. You can see him there. He's going to have John Robertson in his ear, telling him what everyone else is doing. He pulls off to the right-hand side into the Joker for the first lap. He's going to start lap number 2.
And that Joker lane, we've talked about that Joker lane delta all season long, and Dane, it's not that much here at Sonoma, much like Lucas Oil. It is not that much of an advantage to take that shortcut.
No, it's definitely not. I believe it's about 1.8 seconds to 2.2 seconds, depending on, of course, your line through the Joker and your line over the, or through the regular course over the jump. So yeah, it's not too much. It's a lot more than what we've seen at places as like we've seen at places such as Lucas Oil, where the Joker Delta is non-existent. It's basically the same line through the track. But this one, there is a little bit of advantage to be had. I think that one of the set esports drivers has just taken to that, and it was Tuomen, and he's dropped back. Look at that.
Great gap now built up between Hearth and Tuomen, and it's already nearing about 1 second, about 9/10 right now. About 3.2 back to Killian DeLalmo, who currently sits in third. Nobody else is taken to the Joker lane. Hearth and Tuomen both got it out of the way on lap 1 and 2. With Johan Hearth now pulling away. No pressure behind as Tuomen continues to fall.
Absolutely, and of course the next driver is DeLalmo. He's 3.5 seconds back. No danger to Hearth whatsoever. Hearth just has to keep it clean. A little bit sideways out of the jump there, but all is good for him. Looks like Palia has just taken to the Joker. No, that wasn't. That was Salas that just took to the Joker. He moves up into fourth. Looks like he might lose both of those positions, all three of those positions once again, when everyone else takes to the Joker. DeLalmo is still not taking to the Joker, but dropping back. He's dropped about 4/10 since I last mentioned that gap.
Salas took to the Joker lane, gained a couple of positions. He's now trying to fight for that transfer spot. Top two make it into the feature out of all 4 heats. So Hearth and Tuomen and Kerman hold that, but DeLalmo on the outside looking in as the white flag now comes out. There goes Hallman behind. He's going to go fighting with this set esports teammate of Rasmus Tuomen. But Johan Hearth looking in his mirror. He loves to see those battles behind because he knows that he can just check out. Now the gap 2 seconds in between first and second. Johan Hearth looking for a walk-away victory here in the first heat.
Yep, 2 seconds is the gap, and those two set esports drivers battling. They're battling, of course, for the final transfer spot into the feature, of course. So they're not just battling for nothing. They're not holding each other up. They really are battling for that final transfer spot. But it is, look at that. Johan Hearth takes the win, and I'm pretty sure that secures the championship for Team Yokohama. I'm pretty sure that that's enough. But Hearth, he's into the feature. He'll take pole position in that feature. So that's a brilliant result for him.
And that is another 8 points added on to the board for Johan Hearth as we take a look at the full results. Tuomen and DeLalmo, they battled it out, but it was Tuomen grabbing that second transfer spot along with Johan Hearth. Then Adria Perez, Jonathan Pyler, Alex Bergeron, and Vicente Salas rounding out your 7-car grid from heat number 1 as we now take a look at how they'll start for the next heat, heat number 2. There's the other Team Yokohama driver, John Robertson on the pole, Jani Alikainen in second, Eloy Lemonsivu third, Garrett Maines fourth, Matt Busa in fifth, Sindra Silva in sixth, and Luke Kraus rounding out your 7 cars for heat number 2. And now this is going to be an important heat for John Dane because after those 8 points from the heat from Johan Hearth, that puts him up to 167, now provisionally 1 point behind John.
Absolutely, I think we're just about ready to go as everyone is on the grid.
Waiting on those start lights. There they go at the top of your screen. Everybody lined up and ready. Front 3 rows and then 2 back from there, and we're off and away for heat number 2. Robertson with a good jump. He's going to go 3 wide into 1. Ollie Kynan going to try and get the slingshot around the outside. A little bit of contact between him and John, but now they're going to go racing down into 1. The Set Esports Subaru of Johnny Ollie Kynan takes the early lead, but Robertson is right there on his bumper.
Absolutely. We've seen him not defend. Actually, Ollie Kynan does defend the inside line into the first corner. The carousel, reverse carousel. Robertson all over the curbs. Oh, and they said he got a slowdown. Or does he have damage? He has a slowdown. He's had to get all the way out of the way. That's a disaster for John Robertson. He's got to catch up all of that time now. And he's definitely going to have to try and make some moves on the circuit. So, yeah, disaster for him. He's got a slowdown right at the start of the race, although he has got the most amount of time possible to catch all that back up. He goes down the inside of Luke Kraus, who I think just got out the way a little bit there. Silva and Busa, they're battling it out as just ahead of him. John Robertson doesn't take to the Joker. Boost and Silver, they've been battling all season long, and in the official series, the D-Class iRX series, and yeah, they're battling out once again. But Robertson really needs to get past.
He sits down in 5th. He needs a couple more positions to grab that transfer spot into the feature race. You can see him all of the back bumper of Busa. He's going to move him out of the way, and Busa's in the wall, and he's going to collect John Robertson. He's trying to get going. He's going to now collect Luke Kraus. Robertson's in the wall.
That was a massive chain reaction of events there, and Robertson finds himself down in 6th. Quite a lot of damage to that car, but it looks like he hit everything fairly straight on. Not too much steering damage, I wouldn't think. But yeah, that's put him 11 seconds off the leaders. They have taken to the Joker, so that gap is more like 9 seconds off the lead, but still, that is too much time for even our current points standings champion to, yeah, he's not going to be able to catch that up. So he's got to try and get past Busa. That's his first target, and then see if he can get past Mains maybe by the end of the race, but that is a tall order for him. He is probably going to end up in one of those consolation races, and by the looks of things, he's going to be starting quite near to the back.
We've seen him do it before. He will be able to do it again. We'll see if Robertson can make his way into the feature out of the consolation. There he goes, Matt Busa letting him right on by. He knows he's racing for a championship. As we go on to 2 laps to go, Robertson still needs to gain a good amount of position, and he's not within that Joker Lane Delta to make a pass off of it. So if he makes a move on the last lap going into the Joker lane, it's not going to do him much good. He's probably going to need to take it now if he wants any advantage from it.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, let's have a look at what actually happened then. On the right-hand side, we've got a replay. Oh, but that's like quite a bit of netcode there. Robertson initially gets a really good launch. When he eventually gets back going again, he didn't lose too much time from that. He got a bit of damage, of course. He didn't lose too much time, but then the secondary contact getting collected by Kraus, yeah, that really sealed the deal for him. And yeah, as he starts the white flag lap, didn't take to the Joker. But yeah, he's got significant damage to that car. I wouldn't be surprised if there was engine damage to that car, which is common in these Subarus. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be starting quite far back in one of those consolation races.
Well, he will come across the line. Ollie Kaiden is going to take the win in the heat. Lemon Sivu is going to take 2nd place for the 2nd heat transfer spot. But John Robertson comes home in 5th. He's going to need to race out of one of the consolation races. Definitely not the race that Robertson needed there, Dane, but he still has an opportunity to rebound.
He does, but that's going to be difficult for him. Obviously in 5th, I reckon that would put him in 5th or 6th on the grid for one of those 2 consolation races. So he would have to win that consolation as well to get through to the feature, and then in the feature he'd be starting either 9th or 10th. So he's got quite a lot of work to do if he wants to get some decent points. But yeah, that's how things go sometimes. Yeah, he's got quite a lot of work to do. We're getting ready for heat number 3 then. No Apex Racing team drivers in this one, so we get to sit back and enjoy.
And Tommy Hallman is going to be one of those championship contenders, or was going to be before he got mathematically eliminated. We'll see what he can do here in this heat, as Zelensky will start to his outside along with Otto Toskinen. And the final 2 rows is Connor Parisi, Marcos Matamores, Alexi Heikkinen, and Cabot Bigham. 7 drivers ready to go here for heat number 3. Just doing the quick math after that heat race. John Robertson still has 5 points clear of his teammate Johan Harth, but if he doesn't make it into the feature, that is the end of John Robertson's points day. So he's going to need to do really well in that consolation and get out of it and into the feature. But here we go for heat number 3. Zelensky in the middle. He's going to be stuck in between Hallman and Toskinen. Hallman going to get away well. Toskinen on the outside now, Bobby Zelensky, but look in the middle, that's Connor Parisi. He just gave the bumper to Otto Toskinen, and around he went. But now the race up front, Parisi trying to get by Bobby Zelensky. Hallman now trying to run away with the lead.
Hallman would start, well, the winner of this heat will start 3rd on the front row of the feature grid. So it's really do want to be winning this heat race Holman got a pretty good start there. He let Zelensky and Taskinen battle in the early part, and then Parisi, like you say, stuck his bumper right through the middle there. And yeah, unfortunately for Taskinen, he's now down in 7th. Let's see, who just took to the Joker? That's Zelensky. Is he going to come out in the lead? No, he's not, because Holman took to the Joker as well.
Holman and Zelensky both getting their Joker lanes out of the way early, so they're going to go racing it out on the regular course for the remainder of this race for these final 4 laps. Lexi Ikonen for Burton Kligerman Esports. They're looking for a good day as Burton Kligerman Esports, their first year here in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship. Great effort from Alexi Heikkinen all year long in that Burton Kligerman Esports VW Beetle as he's trying to battle kind of Parisi up ahead. As Parisi is going to go into the Joker lane, Heikkinen going to elect to stay out. Now the top 3 have all taken the Joker lane, and look at that, how close Zelensky's going to get to Connor Parisi as they race up through the dirt section. Oh, they're going to make contact! Parisi's all the way around through the infield.
He'll get a nice big slowdown penalty for that, I'm sure. He's going to be dropping down quite considerably, but yeah, Zelensky and Parisi doing Tommy Holman's work for him at the moment.
That is definitely not the move Parisi wanted to make, but it did not hurt him too much. He's still in contention for that transfer spot. Heikkinen battling with Cabot Bigham. As everybody knows, Cabot Bigham, a real-life rallycross racer as well. Racing the old Red Bull Global Rallycross series, and I believe he also did some stuff in the ARX series for the short amount of time it ran. Bigham known in the real-life world, and now transferring that into sim racing here in the championship. Great runs this season from Cabot Bigham as he is currently in 5th. He has a Joker lane still left. We'll see if he can use that to any sort of advantage to try and get past Alexi Ikonen.
Absolutely, you have to make up quite a bit of a gap, and they've only got 1 lap to go. Oh, that was yeah, he takes the Joker, but just in front of Marcos Matamoros. I was worried for a minute that Matamoros was going to take him out. We've seen that way too many times with the Joker here at Sonoma. Very dangerous Joker entry for Bigham. I wonder if we're going to see him in the Nitro Rallycross series that's going to be starting in late next year. That would be something to see if he wants to continue in Rallycross. And it looks like he's just let Heikkinen through. He's just got to slow down, I think.
So Heikkinen goes on through. Bigham still fighting with him behind. Looking for 4th place. A little bit of a better starting spot in the consolation, but it's not going to matter as Heikkinen's going to go into the Joker lane. And Holman going to take the win here in heat number 3 with Bobby Zelensky coming home 2nd. Good points for Subaru Motorsports USA.
No.
And set. What happened there in the back? Bigham's going to take 4th.
Heikkinen.
Matamoros in 5th. Heikkinen's going to come home in 7th. What happened through the Joker lane?
I haven't seen what happened, but I can pretty much guarantee that Cabot Bigham ran right into the back of Heikkinen as Heikkinen went to take the Joker, because the ideal entry into the Joker is on the racing line, braking hard in an acceleration zone for the regular racing line. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I saw him drop down the timing tower as soon as we cut away from those two and looked at Tommy Holman, who of course did win heat number 3. But yeah, really unfortunate for Alexi Heikkinen. He will be starting pretty much dead last in one of those consolation races, and it's time for heat number 4 already. Quick moving is this iRX World Championship Series presented by Yokohama, and Jake Robertson is on pole.
For Apex Racing Team, Jake starts on the pole. Mitchell DeYoung in 2nd, Josh Fox 3rd, Bo Albert 4th, Danny Matrani 5th, Henrik Krogstad in 6th, and Tommy Makinen in 7th. Now Mitchell DeYoung mathematically out of the championship as well, but we still know just how fast that 24 Subaru is all the time. Whatever car Mitchell DeYoung gets behind the wheel of, it always just goes, it feels like it just goes 10 miles an hour faster than everybody else's. He is such a talented sim racer. We'll see what he can do against the rest of these drivers here in the final heat of the day. Before we go into the consolations, we're off and away as the lights go green. Robertson on the inside. He's going to make contact with DeYoung. DeYoung makes contact with Fox on the outside. They're all going to go single file now. They're fighting still 2 by 2 in the back, but it's all Jake Robertson up ahead. A slight tap of the handbrake as they go over the jump. Jake Robertson leads the field across the start-finish line for the first time.
Couldn't help but think, not again. DeYoung making contact with Krogstad there, and that was Really, really close there to him being taken out. Again, Robertson's had an awful line through the carousel for the first time. I wonder if he was trying to serve a slowdown. I don't think he could have got a slowdown at that point. Yeah, awful line from Robertson through that carousel. He did so well here for round number 6. Obviously on pole position in the feature race. He has to have done pretty well. But he's now down into second, and he will not take to the Joker because De Jong does.
Mitchell De Jong gonna grab his Joker lane early on, try and run away with this heat race win, but Jake Robertson still is in that coveted transfer spot. Tommy Makinen off the track. He is out of this heat race. He'll be heading to the consolation. Now it's up to these drivers behind to keep fighting. Josh Fox took his Joker lane. He's got Krogstad behind. Then it's Danny Matrani behind Jake Robertson, but a good gap in between those two as Robertson just trying to focus ahead and catch Mitchell De Jong. But that gap is already above the Joker lane delta.
Absolutely, and you have to remember Jake Robertson fighting to keep his seat in the iRX World Championship Series. Of course, the top 10 keep their seat for 2021. And he is right on the cusp of that. Before we went green for the first time here at Sonoma, he was in 10th position. So he is definitely still fighting for something. He's not just stuck in the midfield. He really has to get some good points here today, and looks like he's doing just that if he can make his way through into the feature.
Yeah, Jake definitely right on the cusp of that, falling into the outside of that top 10, falling into the class of drivers who will be have to race back through in the iRX qualifiers coming up next year here on iRacing, and a couple new courses going to be featured on the schedule, not only in the next iRacing season, but in the next season of the World Championship Series and the Qualifier Series. Dane just released on the iRacing official broadcast, including Charlotte and Brands Hatch RX courses.
Absolutely, I have no idea what the Brands Hatch layout could look like. I would assume that they would be using the Indy layout and be laying down some dirt, so that's going to be pretty cool. Maybe put a chicane on that front straight, which is fairly long for these rallycross cars, but yeah, that's going to be really cool. The Charlotte layout, I know, uses part of the Roval. It uses part of the Roval long layout, that the extra bit of the Roval that you can use as one of the options on iRacing, and they use part of that. That's a very long dirt hairpin. Other than that, I have no idea what those could bring for the next season. Those two are both being confirmed, I'm hearing, for the next season, which starts on Wednesday. Those two new layouts are going to be brought to us, and also we've got Catalonia, which we've been waiting for almost a year, over a year at this point, since the road course was released, and it's finally going to be given to us, but we have to wait another season for that. That's only going to be ready in time for season 2 of 2021, but that will be in time for the qualifying series as well. So the qualifying series is going to look very different to what we've been used to over the past few years.
Hoping to have that broadcast back here on Apex Racing TV once it comes around, but De Jong and Robertson gonna move on out of heat number 4. They're the top 2 in the transfer spots. Then Danny Matrani, Josh Fox, Henrik Krogstad, Bo Albert, and Tommy Makinen are gonna move into the consolation races. Now time for the first consolation race of the day. Killian Delolmo on pole, Connor Parisi, Adria Perez, Cabot Bigham, Jonathan Pyler, Marcos Matamores, Alex Bergeron, Otto Toskanen, Vincente Salas, and Alexi Heikkinen. The 10 cars in this consolation, one of the largest consolation grids we've seen all year, Dane.
Absolutely. Very rarely have we got a full grid of cars. I think we might have just that today. We haven't had a full grid of cars. 28 is the largest number of cars that we can have in the season, and we haven't had that all season. It's taken 9 rounds. The final round, they all show up for the finale. I think Cabot Bigham has missed every single round so far, but it's nice for him to join us as look at that grid, full grid, as the lights are about to come on.
And Cabot Bigham running for the Dirtfish team. Let's see what he can do here, if he can make it into his one and only feature race of the season. Lights are on and they go off, and we're underway here in the first consolation race. Parisi gonna get a huge shove from Delolmo, but look at the crossover from Adria Perez as he tries to go to the inside for the lead. Oh, contact! Heikkinen's around!
Heikkinen's around. I think Matamores is around as well. Massive pile up in towards the final corner for the first time. Perez managing to get up into the lead of the race. Apex Racing Academy member. Well, more about that after the consolation races, I'm sure. But Vicente Salas as well, he's dropping down. Or Parisi's dropping down. He's obviously got to slow down.
Unfortunate for Parisi, but we say racing, and like you mentioned, Adrian Perez, an Apex Racing Academy driver, he used an Apex Racing Academy setup a couple weeks ago, I believe, back at Sonoma. It might have been Sonoma last time around, or Phoenix, but he did use an Apex Racing Academy setup, and he had one of his best finishes of the season there. As he continues to lead now, he has taken the Joker lane. You're looking at Vicente Salas, who also has taken the Joker lane, trying to catch Jonathan Pyler up ahead because he is losing out on time to Adrian Perez in front. Only the winner moves on in the consolation. You need to be on that top step of the podium in this race to move on to the feature. And right now, they're all trying to chase Adrian Perez. That's huge contact for Cabot Bigham.
That was Taskinen right into the back of him, and that allowed Heiken to get past as well. So yeah, Bigham dropping down the order. He's getting his first experience of iRacing Rallycross, and he's getting the iRacing Rallycross treatment.
We know Bigham used to the real life stuff, but here in the sim, there's no money attached to any of the damage caused. These guys can race as hard as they want, and they race extremely hard here in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship, as well as the other World Championships here on the iRacing service. But Perez still leads in this battle between Pyler and Salas, continuing to heat up as Salas is getting close, but not close enough to make a move.
Yeah, you've got to get much closer than that to be able to make a move. The top three pretty much secured at this point because they've got quite a long gap to the cars behind of Delorme, Taskinen and Heikkinen. They are just a bit too far back to make it work with the Gelton. Heikkinen's turning Taskinen around. Taskinen gets instant karma for turning Bigham just moments ago, and he's now been turned around by Heikkinen.
Bigham's still in this race, and he's already taken the Joker lane, but he's down in 7th, 9 seconds away from the transfer spot. As the white flag is now out, one car taking the Joker lane, that's Alexi Heikkinen. Bigham getting a little squirrely coming over the jump, he's able to save it. But up front, right now, the battle is between Perez and Pyler, but Pyler has a mirror full of Vicente Salas as they go through the dirt section for the final time here in the first consolation, kicking the cone out of the way, but Perez pulling away.
Yep, 6/10 is the gap, but Pyler not looking forward, he's looking further back. Unfortunately, you don't get points in the consolation races, so only Perez is going to be happy with his result in the C-Ring. He's going to come across the line after 5 laps, and he will take that transfer spot. He'll start 9th in the feature.
So Pyler comes home in 2nd, then Salas, Delorme, Heikkinen top 5. And that is going to spell the end of the season for everybody 9th on back. And they are now officially done with their iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series season. But man, what a good effort from Pyler, Salas, Delorme, Heikkinen, Parisi, Matamoros, Taskinen, Bergeron, and Bigham all season long. They all have been very strong throughout this championship. But unfortunately, this is going to spell the end of their season before the feature race even begins. Time for the B main now, the second consolation. There is our own John Robertson for Team Yokohama, an Apex Racing team. He starts 5th. Sindra Silva and Danny Matrani, an entire front row for Nitro Circus, as Garrett Maines will start in 3rd, Josh Fox 4th, John Robertson in 5th, Henrik Krogstad 6th, then it's Matt Busa, Bo Albert, Luke Kraus, and Tommy Makinen. Some tough competition here for John Robertson, Dane.
Absolutely. He's got Sindre Silva on pole position, of course, Apex Racing Academy driver. He qualified for the first time thanks to John Robertson's help. John Robertson, of course, is a coach for Apex Racing Academy, along with Johan Haas. So Silva making it through into the World Championship, and he starts on pole position for the B main. John Robertson with 4 drivers ahead of him. He's going to be starting on the outside of the 2nd row. So he's got quite a lot of work to do He's got to watch out for Henrik Krogstad, Matt Bruce, and Bo Albert, who will be starting on the road just behind. Then, of course, Josh Fox, who will be on his inside and try not to run into his Apex compatriot in the Sindre Silva Nitro Circus car. Nitro Circus cars, Danny Machani running pink and Sindre Silva running orange. He was running pink for half the season. Halfway through, decided he liked orange better.
Well, everybody just waiting to get on the grid here for the final consolation of the day and of the season. John Robertson needs to win this race if he wants to move on to the feature race and fight with his teammate Johan Harth for the championship. No points are attached to the consolation. The only way that he can grab points for the remainder of the day is to make it to the feature, and he needs to win this race. We're off and away for the second consolation. Robertson, you can see him there in the second row. He's on the outside. He's got Josh Fox to his inside. He's going to get away in third as the carnage ensues behind him. Robertson is going to slide into line in third. He's going to need to get by Josh Fox as quickly as possible because he's being held up.
Moves to the inside, but he doesn't want a repeat of what happened in his heat race. He needs to stay on the racing surface. Takes a little bit of a shorter line through the corner there. Oh, carnage behind. Now Bo Albert getting turned around. Machani turned around as well. He's dropping down the field too. Robertson, brilliant start for him, avoiding the chaos at the start of that race. And he is up into third, but third is not good enough. He still has to get past Josh Fox and Sindre Silva as well. Silva taking to the Joker, Robertson not.
Robertson stays out, assuming that he might be able to gain some more time on the racetrack without taking that Joker, but he's going to need to really gain that time, and he's running all the way down there on the inside, trying to grab as much grip as possible to work his way up through the field. Yes, a 3-second gap in between him and Silva right now. Josh Fox in front of him has not taken the Joker lane. Will he take it this time to try and overtake?
I'm not too sure. The gap is a bit close at the moment, around about a second. He would come out, I think, too close to Fox. Fox takes to the Joker. That means Robertson's definitely not. I think at this point he's going to leave it till the end of the race, unless Krogstad comes out right in front of him. Krogstad, he has come out right in front of him. Robertson, if he doesn't get past Krogstad on this next lap, he will take to the Joker for sure.
This is not the consolation race. John Robertson needed 3 laps to go. That's 3 laps for him to get back to the lead and try and make it back into the feature to grab some points. Remember, Johan Harth will be starting on the pole in the feature race. And the points are going to come down to that feature race. There goes Robertson into the Joker once again. He's going to come out in front of Krogstad. He sees Silva in front of him. Josh Fox is taking the lead. Robertson is going to need to make moves, and he's going to need to make them fast. He's all over the back bumper of Silva.
Yeah, as they come up through the dirt section, really difficult to make any kind of move here. A really risky move it would be, as we saw Robertson trying to make a move on Matt Brewster that was in the heat race, which eventually ended his heat race. But yeah, I know he's really got to be patient here, but he can't afford to be patient. He's got a 2-second gap to Fox ahead. At this point, with 1 lap to go, he's got to make some kind of massive send and then pray, really, that Fox makes some kind of mistake.
Oh, and he's going to go way wide up through the dirt section. John Robertson now falling back from Sindre Silva up ahead. This could be the end of the season for John Robertson, and I think he might have also gotten a slowdown.
Oh, it's a disaster for John Robertson. Came into this round 10 points ahead. Looks like he won't even make it to the feature, and that would be so devastating for him, because he was the only driver up until this point to make it to every single feature. But when it counts in the final round, just not able to do that, and you can see very disappointed John Robertson there. He's still leading the championship, but it's going to be pretty difficult for him to win it at this stage, and you can see he's not very happy right now, understandably so. But it looks like no one made it to the feature in every single round in this season.
So as the points stand after those heat races are finished, This means that John Robertson has 5 points between him and Johan Harth as we are going into the feature race. We're going to take a quick break here on Apex Racing TV, but don't go anywhere as Josh Fox has just qualified into the feature race. And we're going to take a short break, thank a couple sponsors, then we'll be back with the final feature race of the season in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
The drama is reaching a crescendo here at the Sonoma Raceway for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama. We have your updated driver standings as they sit right now, and after those heat races and the consolations, John Robertson is officially out of the race. He will not be racing in the feature. Robertson sits up front with 172 points. Johan Harth currently has 167. Johan needs to finish 6th or better in the feature race to lock up the championship. We think that the tiebreaker is on wins, but if not, 5th or better will lock up the championship. No need for a tiebreaker from Johan. Then, Hallman and de Jong are both locked into 4th. Or locked into 3rd and 4th. So Hallman cannot break into the top 2. So a Team Yokohama Apex Racing Team 1-2 for the championship is official. It just depends on if John or Johan will be standing at the top step of the podium with the trophy. Dane, it all comes down to this. We've been here for numerous rounds, months and weeks of action from the qualifiers to now. It all comes down to this final feature race. What are you expecting as these drivers take to the green light for the first time, or for the last time this season?
Yeah, I mean, 10 laps. It all comes down to 10 laps, and it really does all come down to Johan Harth because of the fact that there's no variability at all with the fact that the driver he's racing for in the championship isn't in the race. He just has to finish 5th or better to secure. Like you just mentioned, we're not entirely sure what the tiebreaker is. That's not something that iRacing publicizes, I don't think. But 6th would give him a tie for the top with John. He does have more feature wins than John Robertson, so if the tiebreaker is wins, then Johan would take it. But yeah, he has to finish in the top half of the 10-car field to secure it, and John Robertson is going to be watching on very anxiously, I would expect.
And we just got confirmation from Chris Leone that it is wins. So if Johan Harth finishes 6th, he'll tie John Robertson and he'll win the tiebreaker 2 wins to 1. So Johan does need to finish 6th or better to lock up the championship. It sounds easy, but when you put him up against all of these fantastic drivers in this championship, it is, for a great driver like Johan Harth, it still isn't easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's never easy. You can see you can have an awesome championship such as John Robertson has had, and then just lose it in a split second. And that's what happened to John. It very well could happen to Johan as well. So Johan really needs to be on his A game at the start of this race. He's going to be starting on pole position, of course. But as we've seen, pole position, as it's normally the preferred line through the corner, but you can make the outside work, as we saw Johan do in the feature for round 6. Yeah, he might find himself under pressure from the 2 set esports drivers that are going to line up alongside him, of Joni Ollikainen, our highest ranked rookie, and Tommy Holman.
And I believe Joni Ollikainen has officially locked up the Rookie of the Year trophy. So congratulations to Joni Ollikainen on that one. But Harth does start on the pole. In second, it's Joni Ollikainen, then Tommy Holman, Mitchell DeYoung, Rasmus Tuominen, Alari Lemonsivu, Bobby Zelensky, Jake Robertson, Adria Perez, and Josh Fox. The final 10 racers of the season, the final 10 laps, all ready to go. We started earlier on this season. We began broadcasting in round 2 from Daytona, but this season started all the way back in hell, Lankenbanen. And it all comes down to this: a fight for the championship for Johan Harth. For the other Apex Racing Team driver, it's a fight to stay in this series to try and lock down that top 10. He's going to need a good finish here if he wants to make sure that he is in this series next season. But the fight for the championship continues. Johan Harth has a simple mission: just finish 6th or better. He has 10 laps to do it, and it's the way that he finishes 6th that is going to matter the most. It sounds easy, just finish above this position, but when you have 9 of the world's best iRacing rallycross drivers around you, it becomes the fight of your life. It's time to crown a champion in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. Let's go racing from Sonoma! Harth is going to get a huge jump from DeYoung in the back. He's going to keep it underway. He's going to fall into 3rd now. The 2 set drivers go right on by. Contact for the 4th spot. Robertson's off track. They're all wrecking over the jump.
Both of the Subaru drivers, 9th and 10th. Jake Robertson, he's just ended up on the Joker, but he is currently sitting in 7th, now 8th, as they head to start lap number 1. Robertson, for him, you would hope that he's just not got a massive penalty, because that does happen sometimes if you end up down in the Joker lane from the start. What has happened to Johan Harth? I wasn't looking at Harth, I was looking at Robertson. Johan Harth is down in 3rd.
One car takes to the Joker. That is going to be Tommy Holman. Sorry, Rasmus Tuominen. Holman still on the track. The 2 set esports drivers now 3rd and 4th as Harth is going to drop down into 4th. He's sitting on the first lap in between him and Mitchell DeYoung, but he is still able to stay on the racetrack now, just fighting for track position as Ollikainen and Tuominen have their Joker lanes out of the way. And remember, Harth doesn't need to win this race, he just needs to finish 6th or better. He currently sits in 4th in the catbird seat for the championship. Will he be able to hold on as he tries to fight Tommy Holman up ahead? He's going to take the Joker lane here on lap 2.
Let's see where he's going to come out. See the concentration on his face just behind. That is, oh, he's gone down the inside actually. He's trying it through the carousel.
He got it.
He does, however, the driver behind has a run. He's just about managed to take that, I think. He's just about got it.
And it's Tuominen behind, but Harth is going to take over P2. So now he's going to try and chase down Joni Ollikainen, Rookie of the Year for this series. He's 1.6 seconds back. He can make up that difference. They're going to have 7 laps to go at the line. Harth right now just trying to defend for the championship. There goes Tommy Holman down into the Joker lane. Will he come out in front of Johan Harth? He is going to. Set Esports takes over 1-2. Harth continues to sit in 3rd.
Yeah, Harth always gone a bit wide there, and he just about manages to hold off driver behind. Currently sitting nicely in third, of course. But like you said, he doesn't need to win this race. Of course, he'd love to win the race. And yeah, that would definitely secure him the championship. That's the best way to win a championship. But third will do it for him. He's got 2 wins so far this season. He's the only driver with more than 1 win so far this season. He's currently sitting in third, and the 2 set esports drivers really quick on the opening few laps.
Arth just now trying to continue what he's been doing throughout this season and just be consistent and grab the championship here. Jake Robertson fighting for that top 10. He's all the way down now in 10th place of this feature race. I'm trying to do some quick math to see exactly where Jake is going to be as far as points go once this feature is over with. Hopefully put him in the top 10 and keep his spot in this championship. We'll keep you updated on that as well as the championship. Now the final 5 laps of the season. Hart with a slowdown. Josh Fox right behind. He is defending that spot as he kicks the slowdown.
Absolutely defending for his life there. Perez is the next driver to not joke it. He is down, I think it's 3 seconds, so not a concern of Johan Hart. What is a concern of Johan Hart is Josh Fox right behind him. Johan Hart battling hard now. He should have that 6th position, or top 6, secured. Fox doesn't get a good run out of the jump. That is crucial as they come to start lap 8 of 10. 3 laps of the season, no, sorry, lap 7 of 10. 4 laps of the season remain.
Arth continues to try to stay in front. He is in 3rd. Adria Perez is in 6th. Mitchell DeYoung in 7th. Johan just needs to make sure he does not fall below 6th place. 6th or better, he is the champion. And he has 3 more laps at the line to keep defending. The top 5 have all come down into the Joker lane. Bottom 5 still need to take it. But Hart not within the Joker lane delta time of anybody that has not taken it so far. So he doesn't need to worry about Joker lane overtakes right now. He can focus on the racetrack in front of him, but we all know he's looking in those mirrors, focusing right on behind at what Fox and Tuaman are doing behind him.
It's hard not to. Fox got a very good run out of the carousel. They're going to look to the inside. He did have a look. Hearth said no. Almost going side by side. Fox with a little bit of a touch. Hearth gets sent to the outside. Fox, he puts the nose in, but Hearth defends well. He's not clear yet though. Fox is going to send down the inside into the final corner. Hearth holding around the outside, side by side over the jump. Fox makes the move. Hearth down into 4th then.
Now trying to protect in 4th as Fox goes by for 3rd. Remember, just 6th or better. That's all Johan Hart needs to do to capture the championship. Just about a lap and a half remaining. The championship top 2 is locked up for Team Yokohama and Apex Racing Team. It just depended on who grabbed the win in the championship. And right now, Johan Hart is in the catbird seat for Dane as they're about to take the white flag.
Absolutely, Johan Hart, he has got 2 seconds back to Adria Perez, but crucially 3 seconds back to Mitchell DeYoung. He might end up in 6th position if he doesn't get a move on for the final lap. So that would be a very interesting end to the season, but Johan Hart currently sitting in 4th. There's a lot of dust up ahead, that is of Fox. But Hart, I can't help but think, does he maybe have some damage? Because it looks like he's losing quite a lot of time in a straight line.
And it's not going to matter as he comes through the final 2 corners. The focus on his face on the right side of your screen is going to turn into celebration as he comes across the start-finish line. Johan Hart, your iRacing Rallycross World Champion!
You can see the delight on his face. Look at that.
The relief on his face. He is the champion of this season. What a hard-fought battle for Johan Hart.
He's been there the entire season, up at the top. That's 3 out of 9 race wins this season. And it was the tightest of margins between the two drivers at the top at the end there. But it is Johan Harth, the Frenchman, in his 3rd iRacing Rallycross World Championship season. He is now an iRacing Rallycross World Champion.
And he joins such a great group of people. We know Mitchell DeYoung, a past champion, Sammy Matty Trogan. Now Johan Harth is going to join that list. And he is going to celebrate with some donuts here at Sonoma. Once again, he is your iRacing Rallycross World Champion for Team Yokohama and Apex Racing Team. The first ever iRacing World Championship for Apex Racing Team. And there is his Apex Racing teammates of Jake Robertson celebrating with him as well in the front straightaway. Dane, what a season, what a race from Johan Harth to capture the championship at the last moment.
Absolutely, he really did not have that easy, did he? Just, what is that, 0.7 of a second separating him from championship glory or despair at the end there. 7th, would not have won in the championship, of course, and they're just 0.7 between himself and Rasmus Tuominen, who ended up in 7th. Jake Robertson managed to get past Lorelem and Sivu near the end there. He is in 9th. So, Josh, have you done your quick maths? Do you have any indication of what the championship standings might be further down the field? Has Jake secured his spot for next year?
Well, Jake got 73 points, and yes, he does. 73 is better than 65. So he is going to move on and keep his spot in the championship as he sits in 9th. But we do need to talk about really quickly, of course, John Robertson came into this race as the points championship leader, and bad luck striked him in the heats and in the consolation. But what a season from John Robertson, arguably the most consistent driver out of anybody. He only had 1 win on the season, but his average finish of 4th and 7 top 5s in this season. What a season from John Robertson.
Absolutely. Like I said, up until this round, he was the only driver to have made it into every single feature. Mr. Consistency, just unfortunately not when it really mattered for him. He couldn't make it into the feature. Harth made it into every feature bar 1 as well. He didn't make it to the feature in Hell when we went there the 2nd time for round 5. But yeah, Team Yokohama 1-2 at the end there. Really close between John Robertson and Tommy Holman as well. At the end, only 2 points separating them. But yeah, Team Yokohama 1-2. That is the first time an Apex Racing Team driver has won a World Championship Series in iRacing. And the team has been around for the best part of 9 years at this point, and yeah, they finally get their first taste of the championship glory. Team Yokohama, Apex Racing Team, Team Yokohama, Team Advan are the team champions, of course, with 1-2. It's the first time Apex Racing Team have won a team's championship in the World Championship as well. So a massive day for Apex Racing Team.
And what a season. Obviously, we've been following it since right after Hell Lankenbanen. We're here for week 1. We're here every week since week 2. And it has been an up and down season for a lot of these drivers, but the cream of the crop really rised up. And Jani Ollikainen, of course, Rookie of the Year. We saw him in the qualifiers, Dane, and he was so strong throughout the qualifiers, and we knew he was going to be a championship contender. He was so close to being right up there with Team Yokohama. Same thing with Tommy Hallman, Mitchell DeYoung. He's always fast in these rallycross cars. Zelensky, one of the best road racers on the service, and he was able to grab a 7th place in, I believe, his first season of rallycross, or his second season of rallycross here in the World Championship Series. And I mean, you can look down the order, great seasons from a lot of drivers that were needing good seasons, and some drivers that qualified in from the qualifiers.
Absolutely. Well, look at your top 10, and you've got rookies there. You've got Joni Ollikainen. He was, of course, dominant in that pro qualifiers season, season 3. All rounds of that were broadcast on Apex Racing TV. If anyone's interested, now that the World Championship is, I guess it's over for another year. We've got to wait quite a while until we get some more Rallycross World Championship action. But yeah, he was dominant in that series, and I was talking to Johnny Simon, one of the commentators on the official broadcast, and I was telling him, Joni Alakainen, he is definitely a race winner in this series. He could very well be a race winner. He's definitely got the potential. He told me, I don't think so. And I guess I was right, because yeah, Joni Alakainen, yeah, he won a race, of course, in this season. I think he just won a second as well. And yeah, he's had a brilliant season. Good job from him to finish in 5th. We've got Ilari Lemonsivu as well, up in 8th, and Jake Robertson. Those two, both rookies as well. Lemonsivu, he won the first round of the season. It's the 3rd time in a row that the rookie has won the first round of the season in the Rallycross World Championship. So yeah, some of these guys, really, really great season. Lexi Heikkinen, he was a rookie in this as well. Let's see, Killian DeLolmo, Dirt Rally 2.0 Rallycross World Champion. He finished in 17th. He's only had iRacing for 7 months. So yeah, he's had a fantastic first season for him. I fully expect him to be back for 2021. Yeah, a really great season overall, I think.
And now we're going to take a quick break here on Apex Racing TV, but don't go away, because when we come back, we'll have interviews with both of your Team Yokohama drivers as well as your champion, Johan Harth. You're watching the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama, the Apex Racing Team feature. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama. We would like to give a quick shout out to Apex Racing Academy. They offer everything you need to improve your driving in the sim. Choose from 29 data packs with setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and more. Your iRacing Rallycross World Champion, Johan Harth, is a coach in the academy along with his teammate John Robertson, and everything is integrated with Virtual Racing School. You can head to apexracingac.com to join today. And Dane, you are a user of Apex Racing Academy. What do you think of that service as well? And, you know, having the top two in the championship for the iRacing Rallycross series, providing setups over there.
Absolutely. It's definitely, in terms of Rallycross at least, definitely the best data packs that you can get. It's also fully integrated with VRS, so you can get all of the VRS telemetry data from the drivers, from the coaches, I should say. Johan Harth, of course, now a world champion. So I guess you could say in Apex Racing Academy, in terms of Rallycross, you can now learn from the best. As we've just seen earlier on in the VRS advert, it is definitely the case now for Apex Racing Academy as well. Johan Harth personally has done a lot of help for me in Rallycross. I think I've just gained about, I would say, 800 iRating over the last few, I would say since it started, really, Apex Racing Academy in Season 3 of 2020 in terms of iRacing. Yeah, he's helped me quite a lot, as well as John Robertson and Jake Robertson as well. Jake did some coaching as well for me, and yeah, they've really helped me a lot. And I know that they've helped a lot of other drivers as well. In the World Championship, we've got Sindre Silva, of course. When he started in the Pro Qualifiers back in Season 3, I was faster than him. And now he is a lot faster than me, thanks to the help of Johan Harth and John Robertson. And you can see he's done brilliantly in this his first ever World Championship Series. And yeah, Apex Racing Academy definitely the way to go if you're looking to really get the most out of iRacing Rallycross.
And speaking of first times for a lot of things, a first-time champion in Johan Harth, a first-time champion for Apex Racing Team and Team Yokohama. And we've been talking about it, the consistency from Johan and John this entire season. But the bad luck came for John today. Johan pounced at the opportunity, and he is now your 2020 champion. We're going to grab an interview with him here in just a little bit. But Dane, just continuing to talk about this season, what was your favorite moment from this season and from the team? Because it was a long road to get to this championship.
I would say Atlanta. When we went to Atlanta, that was an awesome event. Obviously, the first time that we got a 1-2 finish for Team Yokohama. Johan Harth butchering some donuts after the race, ending up in some fence. But yeah, that was probably one of the highlights of the season. That was a really great race. Sonoma as well, round 6 of the season. The first time we went to Sonoma this season was also really good. At one point in the feature race, we had an Apex Racing team 1, 2, and 3 with Johan, Jake, and John. So yeah, we're just waiting just a few more moments until we can get some drivers in for interviews. But yeah, it's been a fantastic season. I'm really happy with the way that it's turned out. In my opinion, at least, I'm not sure about you, but in my opinion, totally impartial here. It's probably the best of the 3 iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series that we've had.
Well, it's now time to interview your world champion, Johan Harth, for Apex Racing Team. See if we can get him in here to the comms channel. What a season from Johan as he continued such domination over the season to make sure that he could grab this championship and the first championship for Apex Racing Team and for him as a driver in this series. That is not an easy feat by any means. Well, we have Johan in here now. Johan, welcome to the booth. Congratulations, 2020 champion. How does it feel?
It feels insane. I still don't realize what happened, really. To be honest with you, that was unexpected. Coming to the round, I knew that I had a slight chance, but I would have never expected to come away with the win. That's insane, amazing.
Well, Johan, just what an insane season from you. It seemed like 2 wins on the season already is a feat to grab a feature win in this series, but then to just keep that domination going and come off on top. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle the entire season. Did it feel like an endurance race with all of the sort of pressure mounting to that final 10 laps of that feature?
Yeah, I'd say it was a year-long battle. Well, not year-long, but yeah, season-long battle. It was all about not making mistakes, and yeah, I made one at hill. Well, I got turned at hill, caught in an incident. John was flawless all season and made a mistake this round, so yeah, that was the round he didn't have to make a mistake at all, and he did. I benefited.
And you went into this race obviously knowing you were 10 points down. You gained 1 point back on him in qualifying. Then obviously John had those issues in the heat and the consolation. Did you have that championship on your mind going into this round, or were you going to try and defend for your teammate John?
I had a chance. I was mathematically within a shot, so yeah, I was not gonna do anything stupid with John. But if I had any chance, I would have taken it. No team orders, as we said before the race. So yeah, he had that unfortunate slowdown in E2, and right after that, I knew I had it in my hands almost.
Now, for one final time this season, anyone you would like to thank here on Apex Racing TV?
Well, of course, John and Jake for all the work this season. They were amazing all season long. They were putting in the hours day after day. They've done an amazing job. Yokohama for all the support. They've been amazing. All the guys at Apex for the support as well, and finally you guys for the broadcast.
Well, for one final time this season, Johan Harth, your 2020 iRacing Rallycross World Champion. Congratulations one more time, Johan.
Thank you.
Well, Dane, just what a season for Johan Harth, as he was just so dominant from the beginning, and we knew that both of these Team Yokohama and Apex Racing Team drivers could be strong and that they could be dominant for the championship, and that is definitely what happened this season.
Absolutely, yeah. The two drivers, they were pretty much flawless for the entire season. Like he was just saying, Johan, he made pretty much one big mistake the entire season. Well, less of a mistake, but he had one major incident the entire season. For 9 rounds. That's each of the rounds they had 2 races. That's 18 races that each of those drivers have had in this series, and they have had only one incident each. Johan, of course, at Hell the second time at round 5, and John, unfortunately, it was in the final round when it really mattered the most, and just unfortunate for him, really, that he had to have that mistake right at the end. He just started off in Heat 2 with that slowdown. Really unfortunate there. The slowdowns are very difficult to gauge if you're going to get a slowdown or not. It's a very fine line between getting a slowdown and just getting a fast line. So we can get some awesome replay of the start of This Is the Feature with that massive incident at the end there. And yeah, Jake was unlucky to get involved in that. You can see the 2 Subaru drivers getting into each other as well, falling off of the jump. There is Jake, and yeah, he just gets taken by De Jong, who had that massive run on him, obviously coming down from the jump as well. And I think we have got Jake ready for an interview before we can fully round out the season. It's been a great season, and yeah, let's get Jake in then for the final time this season. Jake, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, Jake, first of all, congratulations. You've just secured your spot in the 2021 World Championship.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, 2021, that could be a completely different year. I don't know what we've got coming, but it's nice to secure myself and not have to go through Pro Q again.
Absolutely. It could be a very, very different looking schedule on there as well, because I'm not sure if you know, but what's just been announced in the broadcast is that Charlotte and Brands Hatch are both getting Rallycross layouts on Wednesday, and then we've got Barcelona coming out as well in Season 2. So all 3 of those circuits, and potentially Knock Hill Rallycross as well. So we could have 4 new Rallycross circuits by the time the next World Championship comes around, which would be great.
Yeah, it's nice to see the long anticipated Barcelona Rallycross track finally actually being announced, and some of the European tracks, and even Charlotte's going to be a weird one. So hopefully all the tracks are good and fun, just like Sonoma, and yeah.
Well, you've had an up and down season. Some races really haven't gone your way, but you seem to enjoy Sonoma quite a bit. You've had a fair bit of success. You had, I believe it was 4th place that you had in the first time we came to Sonoma, and that was your best finish of the season, I think. So yeah, you've had some really great finishes as a rookie. So why don't you, in a few sentences, sum up your first season, your rookie season in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship?
Yeah, like you said, Sonoma's probably one of my best, if like one of my better, if not best tracks. But my whole season's been on the more disappointing side. But I don't really expect to have an amazing season from the get-go. So I'm happy to keep the license, as we said earlier, and I think next season could be a much better one because of all the crashes and incidents I've had this season.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to see you in just under a year's time in the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship. You've got a long time to wait, and yeah, congratulations on making it through then, keeping your license, and congrats on a fantastic first rookie season.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, before
now
we let
we're
you
gonna-
go, Jake. Oh, wait. We have to ask Jake. Of course, we have to ask
I'm
Jake.
sorry, Dane. I'm sorry.
Jake, before we let you go, for the final time in the 2020 Rallycross iRacing World Championship, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, so SDK Gaming, of course, Imputers, the guys at Apex Racing Team, they've been so much help this season. I don't think I could have qualified or done as well in the races as I have if I didn't have those guys. But apart from that, you guys from the broadcast, and that's it.
Well, it's been great to have you, and good luck for whatever you decide to do next.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, now we're going to move over to an interview that I'm super proud to be providing here on Apex Racing TV. It is with the Apex Racing team manager, Alex Simpson. First of all, Alex, thank you for taking the time to come into the booth. Obviously, you're here for production, but doing production and figuring out the interview stuff at the same time was definitely a huge challenge. So thank you for being here, first of all, in the booth. And second of all, how does it feel having now a championship from iRacing for Apex Racing team, the first of its kind?
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, I really can't believe it. You touched on it at the start of the broadcast. We got into this, what was a hobby back in 2012 with a view to try and get into the World Championship. We did that pretty quickly, successfully, and we had some great successes on the road side as well. And to sort of see that push through into Rallycross as well, and now it's crazy to secure the championship first in Rallycross before some of the others. I'm just so happy. I mean, the guys did an absolutely amazing job. I want to say, obviously, I'm gutted for John. Like, he's been so consistent all season long, bang, just every week, just pounding in those quality results, and that's why he was there come the end of this championship. And for the one meeting for it not to just quite go right, was this one as well. But don't take that in anything I said there away from anything that Johan has done, because he had a couple of tough first meetings that he's had to sort of fight back and drive through, and he's been relentless and consistent with his results as well. Couple of wins, and he put it on pole today, got his feature, his heat win that he needed to get into the feature. So yeah, an absolutely amazing season from him as well. So both fully deserved that first and second. Yeah, I think I just can't believe it, really, to be honest. The fact that that not only did they get first and second in the championship, but we of course locked down the team championship as well with it as well. Just absolutely epic.
Now, talk about the work behind the scenes that's put in, because we, of course, see John and Johan on the track. We, of course, hear from you as the team manager, but there's so many other people, so many other moving pieces in this team. Talk about them and how much this means to them as well, that a lot of hard work for a lot of people is now paying off in this championship.
I don't know what you're on about. They all put their feet up, mate. It's just me, John, and Johan. No one else does anything. Nah. To be fair, like, they all put in so much work. It is crazy. I mean, there is so much going on behind the scenes at Apex. Of course, we're not just the esports team. There's the broadcast, there's the academy, there's SDK Gaming, there's the leagues. There's so much going on, and we've got so many things in the pipeline for 2021 as well that we're really keen and excited to kind of share with the whole community as well. It's just crazy what we've got planned for 2021. So, and everybody is kind of working flat out behind the scenes in terms of like all the administration on what's going on with that, but then also all the team, all the drivers as well, all those that are running in like PESC and trying to qualify for that. So much effort going into that right now as well. So yeah, just to everyone. I mean, when I look across the platform and everything that we do, I think there's perhaps 50 to 75 people currently dealing with different Apex Racing sort of divisions, subdivisions, things like that, and everybody puts in absolute solid work, including you guys, on the broadcast, the comms and stuff like that. We are where we are today because of the people behind us. And we certainly wouldn't be there without everyone. That's the whole collective that makes it kind of happen for us.
Now, I know you can't share a lot of the plans for 2021, but obviously brand new Dallara Formula IR car that's going to be coming out with its own championship. We have another year of eNASCAR, another year of course, the Porsche Esports Super Cup. what is on the pipeline for 2021, and is Apex Racing Team going to be back in all those series like we've seen in the past?
I'm sure we'll be back in absolutely everything we possibly can do. I mean, there's only a few things I can say right this moment. Of course, the Dallara is just brand new news. You know, that come absolutely out of out of left field for us. We weren't expecting that at all. But fantastic news. Apex Racing at heart, we're an open wheel team. This is what we're all about. So when that announcement hit, my Discord channels just went bang. Like everybody was just going absolutely nuts. So we're really excited for that. Of course, you know, we've got a lot of guys in PESC next season as well. So we're really excited and looking forward to that. Some pretty big announcements hopefully coming our way fairly soon in the next few weeks about that. And then also, of course, you know, Peter Berriman, unfortunately, you know, he didn't make it. But of course, this new Dallara series, you know, he is Mr. Open Wheel. He's the guy that does our data packs for all of our open wheels over at the Academy as well. So, you know, when one door closes, maybe another door opens. And yeah, Pete is certainly going to be, I think, taking the bull by the horns for that one. And yeah, we're really going to be ramping it up for that series. Of course, we'll always be back for the Rallycross. You know, defending champion's got to come back and do his thing. We currently have no plans for NASCAR. I will say that, but we want to break into that, and I think that's something we're going to start to seriously look at in 2021. How we can start to position ourselves so that we can get drivers into all of the major iRacing sort of world championships. So yeah, just watch this space for that. I'm afraid the other bits, I have to keep very tight-lipped at the moment, but you know, no loose lips Tony Gardner here, I'm afraid.
Well, Alex, thank you very much for sharing at least some minor details on the 2021 plans for the season. And thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. Amazing talking to you, and congratulations on Apex Racing's championship.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Dane, as we wrap up the season for the final time here from Sonoma, thoughts on the entire season as a whole? One of the most exciting of the iRacing Rallycross series that we've seen in the past. And look at that, our two drivers up at the top after all these weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pretty long championship. It's the longest championship I think that we've had in 2 years at this point. It lasted 11 weeks, even though we only had 9 rounds. I think only the first season matches those numbers, but yeah, it's been a long one, and the drivers have really had their work cut out for them. Of course, Johan Harth, he had PESC alongside rounds 1 and 2 on the same day, just a couple of hours separating the Porsche Esports Super Cup round and the iRacing Rallycross round. So yeah, he really had his work cut out for him in those first couple of rounds, and you could see from round 3 he was able to spend all of his time on iRacing Rallycross instead of half Rallycross, half PESC, and you could see from then the results started coming in thick and fast for him.
Well, for everybody here at Apex Racing Team and Apex Racing TV, thank you very much for tuning in throughout the weeks of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series presented by Yokohama. It has been a thrill covering the Apex Racing Team and Team Yokohama all season long. For Mark Tranter and Alex Simpson, all their work behind the scenes to get this stream up, for Dane Baird for being an amazing co-commentator, I am Joshua Lee, and we are saying goodbye from Sonoma.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.